Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast with your host, Andy Torres. Welcome to NothingisOB South Texas Golf Podcast, episode number 87. I always have a special guest, but our guest tonight, he's a bit of a character, you could say, all right? Two-time Big Break alumni, San Antonio native. I have Anthony A-Rod Rodriguez on the show.
What's up, Andy? How are you?
Oh, what's up, brother? Thanks so much for being on the show tonight, man. This has been some time, man. It's been some time in the making over here.
Yeah, it's been a long time, I guess 2012 was my last time to play full time. So it's, to come back. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, thanks so much, man, for being on. And I'm curious, man. I'm curious to get into some of the stories, man. Get into some of the stories because you were one of my favorite. Obviously, being somebody from Texas. I know you're an Aggie, right? I know you're an Aggie, and just you were one of the guys on Big Break Mesquite, right?
Yes. Mesquite was my first one, and then the Dominican Republic, the second one.
Hey, dude, but you know what? I always rooted for you, man. I always rooted for you, and we'll get into a little bit later. We'll get into some of those, some of your shenanigans and how that all came to be. So why don't we kick things off here? I really want to know, where did the game of golf start for you?
My first love was tennis, and had a tennis court in the backyard. My dad got me involved doing it, and I played tennis for 4 years. I actually was ranked in Texas, and went to him one day and said, I don't want to play tennis anymore. He goes, what do you want to do? I want to play golf. And he goes, okay. So that's how it all started. And, we were fortunate enough to be a member of a country club down in South Texas, Cimarron Country Club. And John Garcia, he took was my instructor. And he said, here, take over. And, I was fortunate enough to start with a professional from the beginning. And John's been an instructor and a dear friend all my life. So that's where it all started. And, he was a tough instructor. I'd sit there and I hit balls, and he'd come out when he had a break, and he'd come, okay, we're going to 60-yard shots. Okay, you got to land this front right, or you got to hit this in the left of the hole. Can't be right of the hole. It was what he taught me how to practice. That was that was really big, because I've taken it to this day now to even practice that way. It's still part of my practice sessions.
Now, you made a big name for yourself as being a great junior golfer, being an All-American at Texas A&M. Now, when did those kind of aspirations when was there the writing on the wall that you were going to be able to take this game to the collegiate level, and not only a collegiate level, but to a big school, I guess the Southwest Conference at that time, right?
It was the Southwest Conference, and I can remember the day like it was yesterday. It was 1987, and Texas A&M had just won the Southwest Conference, and we were at the golf course. My dad comes out and goes, "You're gonna make me cry here." So he said, A&M won the Southwest Conference, and I said, "Dad, I'm gonna win that for you one day." And you and I were gonna talk about greatest moments, and I guess we're gonna take that now, but. So in 1995, I made about a 5-footer to go into a playoff for the medalist championship, and birdied the first playoff hole and won the Southwest Conference. Won it's like one of those greatest moments. Won the exemption into the Colonial, and then when I received my ring, I took it to him and I said, "Here, it's yours." So, all right, Bubba Watson.
Already, man. I'm like, damn, the waterworks. I was like, what's going on? But you know what? That just goes to show everybody that how much the game is it's a part of your life, because I had the privilege of seeing you play out there at Buckhorn with your boys, and man, dude, I don't know what happened to him, man. But these guys are like very respectable young men. They're calling me sir, shaking me in my hand, looking me in the eye, and I was like, are these your kids? Are you sure these are your
Well,
kids?
it's okay to beat your kids, No, they're very respectful. My dad taught me that. My grandfather taught my dad that, and we were raised that way. And you know, um, they've they've done the same thing. And I had they played the club championship at River Crossing a few weeks ago, and I had my son, my 14, he'll be 14 on Saturday. John Kimball called me the next day on Monday. He goes, and he's an ex-tour player and winner on the tour, on the Corn Ferry Tour, and he goes, "Hey, A-Rod," and I said, "Yeah." He goes, "My son played with your son this past week," and I said, "Oh, cool." He goes, "I just want to say that he is the most respectful young man that I've ever seen," and that there, I mean, stuck with me, and I told him thank you very much. So it just shows that I'm doing something right.
Well, you have been, and I know there's a young lady out at the Dominion. I know her dad teaches out there. I think her name is Emma. Help me with the last name.
Emma McMillan.
Emma McMillan. You know,
Yeah, she qualified for the U.S. Open this past year. Yeah.
she qualified for the U.S. Open, and I saw the beautiful note that she wrote to you.
Yes.
A good amount of you guys there, you members out at the Dominion, that made it all possible and helped her out along the way, helping her to reach her dreams and to help her reach her goals. And I thought that note that she wrote you was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I thought that was something that I think that I don't know if people know that. I know because people like to make the productions and they want everybody to see, hey, I'm giving a homeless man something to eat. Hey, I'm doing this. And you know what? I know it wasn't anything blown out of proportion or it wasn't huge. And I thought it was such a beautiful note that she wrote to you and the members that helped her along the way. And she gave y'all mad props. And I wanted to thank you for paying it forward to some other juniors in the golf game.
I did it, because, it was given to me. People did it for me growing up the same way. I had sponsors, I had people backing me and believing in me. And I see her practicing out there, and then there's quite a few kids that do. And, as a professional, you look at them and said, I was that at one time, and I could see the hard work she put in, and she deserved every minute of it. She really did. And, we're very fortunate right now to be able to raise money and be in a fortunate position to be able to give some money to help back and help her do what her dream is. This is her dream, to play the U.S. Open. And, I was fortunate to play one U.S. Open in 1996, and that was probably the hardest golf tournament I ever played, honestly. And when they say you have both both sides of the fairway lined up, and you're teeing off, and it's it takes your breath away. It really does. It really, really does. So yeah, but it was great, and she's working hard, and I think she was player of the year again this past year. You'll see her on the LPGA.
Oh yeah, she is just a stud. There's just so much talent here that is just going around here in San Antonio. And I know I think going into her junior year there at Xavier. And let's backtrack a little bit, because man, I know it's a big part of you and why you do it and why you went to A&M. Talk about that experience. Why was it such a big deal that you brought that ring back to your dad?
Well, I was born and raised in Aggie, and actually, SMU was actually after me first. And when they were doing the recruiting process, I'm a big outdoorsman, and I remember
just a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
Yeah, big outdoor, yeah. And it was deer season, and the coach was, he'd call when he could, and he's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "I'm gonna go down to the ranch. I'm gonna go hunting." He goes, "Oh, okay." So he called the next weekend. "What are you gonna do?" And he finally asked me, he goes, "Do you like hunting more than golf?" And I said, "Well, actually, coach, yeah, maybe I do." He goes, "Oh, you're not SMU material." And I said, "That's fine. Okay, whatever." And from then on, after that, A&M was really the first pick. It was always in the back of my head. I remember going to the golf camp. I was going to be a freshman at it. I was a freshman in high school. I was 14, and I went to Coach Ellis. And after the whole thing was done, and he talked to you, and he asked, "What are your goals? What do you want to do?" I said, "What does it take to go to school here? And what will it take for get my picture up on the wall behind you?" And he goes, "Well, you got to play good golf, and you're going to have to win the Southwest Conference in order to get your picture up there." And sure enough, that's what I did. So yeah, that it was a very special moment. Texas A&M has been a big part of our family. My dad's endowed there. My sister went to school there. Cousins, both my sisters. My niece is going to school there. So it's a big part of our lives. I'm just waiting. Hopefully, whoever's listening out there to get in the Hall of Fame because I broke every record but one of them.
Which one is that? Which one is that?
I threw that out there. Yeah.
Which one is that you didn't break?
Which one? I think I missed the overall scoring average by like point something of a stroke. But I had the most wins in 1 year, and somebody eventually tied that. And then somebody beat my scoring record for the year by like 0.1 or something like that.
Because yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you had 5 wins, right? You had 5 wins.
Well, yeah, but by All American standards, they consider it 6. Even though I lost in a playoff, if you tie for first, they consider it a win. So it's 5 official wins, but according to All American standards, it's 6 wins.
Oh, so okay, so we're gonna put that down in the record books, right? Because I know you're a marksman. Does that count? Does that count as a hit or what?
Well, in some shoots you go to, tides divide. So all the first places that tie for first, they split the money. All the seconds, all the third. So you could actually finish second and still make more money in the first place if those people that tie for first. So you know what? In my books, I still have 6 wins, and it's still a record. It had the most wins in the United States that year. Yeah, and that was during the Tiger Woods era too. He was a sophomore, but still, he was still Tiger Woods.
As you were coming up in the Southwest Conference, who besides obviously Texas, you got I think if I'm not mistaken, Arkansas right in that time. Arkansas was Arkansas in, right? Or I think they were part of.
They were
the Big 8. They were the Big 8 before.
But still was there. The Arkansas they played. I don't know if they were in the Southwest Conference. Yeah, I want to say they were. It was TCU, Texas, Houston,
Oklahoma.
No,
not yet.
Not yet. So who were the 5 schools? Arkansas. Rice in the Southwest Conference, maybe.
Who was your biggest rival at that time? Like, who was just the team that you just? I mean, obviously, wasn't Texas.
Any sport is Texas is back there. Yeah, I always ask you who your 2 favorite teams is, A&M and whoever plays Texas. So,
I love it.
Yeah, and I grew up with the Justin Leonard era. Justin won Southwest Conference 4 years in a row. I remember my sophomore year we hosted Southwest Conference at Pebble Creek, and I was tied for the league on the last day and shot a smooth 81.
Ooh.
And you learn from your mistakes, you really do. And the following year, Baylor also, don't forget about Baylor, was in the Southwest Conference too. And then we went to Baylor and played, and I had a decent conference. And then went to Old Orchard in Houston. Houston was the host, and I birdied the 17th hole, and I knew I had to birdie the 17th hole to tie for the lead. And I got up on 18, I split the fairway with the driver. I think it was 175, and back then, the ball didn't go far, and the irons didn't go, and I hit 6-iron to the behind the pin about 20 feet down the hill, and I hit this putt, and I hit about 4 feet by, and I just went, okay, here we go. And got over it and sunk the putt. And, of all the wins, that's one of the most memorable wins. It really is. My first win, I did it in October of '94. That was during the fall season at Kemper Lakes. And I shot 67 the last day. And I asked my coach, Ellis, 18's a par 3. I said, Coach, how do I stand? He goes, you're okay. Just you play good in this last hole. And so I get up there and I putted. I mean, I hit the par 3 and I 2-putted, and he goes, congratulations on your first win. I went, really? He goes, yeah, you won by 12 shots. So yeah, you can see that was me that was my freshman year, that picture. That's in the Letterman's Association in the kiosk down in Kyle Field right there. Yeah, I was a young guy, 150 pounds, and look at me, 40 pounds later.
Now, man, so we talk about these great college experiences you had, and playing against some PGA pros and being an All-American. Did you have any struggles coming up as being that Hispanic with the last name Rodriguez? Did you have some struggles that you had to overcome to get to be an All-American? Because with having the last name of Rodriguez, there's not a lot of All-Americans with that last name like that.
No, back then, everybody wanted to throw the race card, and what it is now today is so different. But, I was very fortunate, and Chichi Rodriguez was my mentor, and I met Chichi when I was a freshman in high school, and then we'd go from the Valley to come up here to the Dominion and watch him play, and I remember my sophomore year, he was playing at the Legends, and I had moved to San Antonio and I was playing, and they were interviewing him, talking about me, because I think it was during regionals, district or regionals. Raul Dominguez was the sports writer at the time, and he'd go up there and ask Chichi about me, and then back and forth. And he came to me my senior year at A&M. He goes, "When you're ready to turn pro, let me know. I'm going to help you out." And I caddied for him in '95 here at the Dominion for the senior tour, the Champions Tour. And I can admit a great story that, we were on number 9, and that was our last hole of the day. And he hits it through the fairway on 9. People know number 9, it's par 5. And, you got those trees past that little gully down there. And he hit it down in there. And he goes, "Oh, Pards, it looks like I got to punch out over here." I said, "We didn't come here to lay up." I go, "Look at that gap right there. Hit you a 4 and hit through that gap, hit a little punch shot." Kind of like the 10 Cup moment. "You got this shot, Pards. A little 4 iron, put it in the back of your stance. You got this." And he goes, "Give me 5 iron." He hit it up on the front edge of the green, made birdie, shot 68 and tied for the lead. He goes, "Nah, that's what I need right there." So, from then on, we've developed a great relationship. He's helped me. He helped me get in with Callaway. Was able to get me the sponsor exemptions. I was able to in 1995, right when I turned pro. You saw that. I turned pro in July of '95. And my first professional event as as a pro was Castle Pines. And I make a 20, and that was the Stableford system. And I make a 20, and I'm paired with Omar Uresti. So I've looked up to Omar.
The old man.
Yeah. And of course, he played for Texas. But we're paired together, and I make a 20-footer on the last hole. And I did the old halo, and I made it to make the cut right on it. And I ran around and high five everybody that I made it. And it was a great experience for that. And then I'm paired with Mark Calcavecchia on Saturday and Tom Pertzer. And we hit our drives down the middle, and Calcavecchia, they had these big, tall pine trees. It's a par 5, double leg left. And he takes that old 4-wood cleek, the bubble shaft. That was during the bubble shaft, the little cleek. And he hits this 4-wood over these trees onto the green. I look at my dad and I said, "Dad, I don't got that shot." And he goes, "Well, I need to have that shot because I suck at putting." And I went, "Okay." So I wedged, hit my second shot down there, wedged it on the green, made birdie. And he proceeded to 3-putt. And he goes, "Yep, see what I mean? I suck at putting." Yeah.
Who was one of those guys besides Chichi Rodriguez? Who was one of those other guys that really helped mentor you as you were trying to break your way onto the tour?
The thing is that Chichi helped me, and problem is that people can say you hung around with the wrong crowd, you did what you did, but John Daly is one of my best friends. Robert Gomez, Greg Kraft, and Fuzzy Zeller. So they had all made it, and I thought I could do the same thing, and unfortunately I couldn't. But it was crazy times back then. Nobody worked out like they do now. Then nobody had a team. If you had a team, it was your agent that just went with you. You didn't have a sports psychologist going with you. You didn't have a nutritionist. You didn't have a fitness instructor, and it's so different now. But those guys really did. What was really good? They had been around the block, and I was friends with them, and they got me into offsite pro-ams. Hey, here's 2,500, come out and play. Here's 5,000. Now that the new rule that they're paying these guys that out there first year, they're paying them 500,000. If you have your card, guarantee. And what that would have done for me. I think it was the top 70 on the money list. They all got cars. If you weren't in that, you had to rent a car. And I was 24 years old and I couldn't rent a car because I wasn't old enough. You had to be 25 to rent a
25,
car.
yeah.
Yeah. So, that was all really hard for me, all that. I mean, that extra money would have gone a long way for sure.
That was a list of characters. I don't mean to cut you off, but that was a list of characters right there. You got Fuzzy Zeller, you got John Daly. Now give me some stories on some times with those guys. Maybe some after round times.
R-rated or X-rated? No, just
Hey,
kidding.
hey, nothing is OB.
Nothing's out of bounds. No, I can remember playing well, and then I played a lot with David Duval, matter of fact. And I can remember at Callaway Gardens we're playing, and David hadn't won, and we used to gamble real hard on Tuesdays, big games. And I beat David Duval out of $500 that day. And I went in my locker, and there was a check for $500 from David Duval. And we proceeded to miss the cut, and he actually won that golf tournament. But I was such a good Tuesday player. I mean, I could gamble with the best of them. That was one of my downfalls, I guess. But
what's the big difference from being in those Tuesday games and then trying to make the cut on a tour event? What's the big difference?
The score doesn't matter. You're shooting at pins and you're hitting it good, and you believe in yourself, and then you get up, and my issue was, it's trying to keep from hitting a bad shot, missing on the right side, play a little conservative. When you're playing 100, 200 a hole, you're like, okay, grind. If I make 7, big deal. So that is the biggest difference. But nowadays, there's no rough anymore on the golf course too. I mean, back then we had 6-inch rough at every course you went to. It was super high. And but now there's no rough. But yeah, we'll go back to some more stories if you want. I guess some crazy stories that I have. I remember 95. I got a sponsor exemption into the BC Open, which is now a Champions Tour event. They just played it a few weeks ago. And Jeff Sluman and Billy Andre, they said, come on, Anthony. I was an A-Rod back then. A-Rod wasn't around. I wasn't A-Rod till 98. and he goes, come out to dinner with us. So I went out to dinner, and we got in that, I was going to say damn, but I don't know if I can, but courtesy car.
You can.
Nothing's over here, right? So we got in this courtesy car, and we went in this parking lot. He goes, all right, sit back. Let me show you what this courtesy car can do. I mean, oh my gosh, doing donuts. And I'm like looking and just freaking out. Here I am right out of college, and these guys I've looked up to and watched them play. And that was one of the funnest moments there. And then they, take me in, and the last day I'm paired with Fred Couples, made the cut, played well. And last day I'm paired with Fred Couples. The first time I play with somebody with both lines of the fairway, or line with people. And we get up, and he hits his drive, and we get to like third or fourth hole, something like that. And I've driven him a couple of times, and I was like, man, this guy's boom. He doesn't hit it that far. And, we get up on a par 5, and there's one ball here, and there's one ball about 30 yards. So I walk by, because I hit it pretty good. I walk by that ball, and he lets me get about halfway, maybe 3/4 away. He goes, hey, Anthony, he goes, your ball's back here. I went, okay.
So he had to let you know. I like that.
Exactly.
He let the dog walk a little bit up front, right, and then kind of pulled on that leash, right?
Hey, Rook, get back here. Sorry, I do have an extra gear, just to let you know. So we, through 14 holes, I kind of glance at the walking score, and I'm 7 under from the day, and he's 4. And I said, this guy won the Masters. He's a Players Champion, won the Masters. Well, I proceeded to go bogey, and he went birdie, and yeah, we both ended up shooting 68 again. But Fred Couples is a class act. He's such a good guy. John Daly, what you see on TV, what you saw last week, I don't know if you saw him at the Arkansas game, but that is really him. It really is. I mean, it's great. I mean, I loved it. In fact, I'm going to read this, but I'm going to let you know I'm drunk. Yeah, but he is John Daly, and he's not going to change, and he nor should he. He's got a hell of a lot of talent.
And I think that's the thing, and I think that's what makes him. That's what makes him and guys like you, guys like Omar, people who are open with their story and who there's not a lot of fluff. And I think that's the thing, and I truly feel like that's why a lot of people here in the around the area have embraced you, braced guys like John Daly, and ultimately like Fuzzy Zeller. And you know what? Yeah, did maybe he slip up and say some things that maybe
That was
aren't
the year,
maybe
97. That was the
maybe
year.
maybe aren't PC. You know what? But at the same time, you know what? What do we say when we're out on a foursome, right? It's anything goes, right? Anything goes. And you know what? If you can't hang with the big boys or you can't take the shit talking, then you know what? You're not for the group, right? You're not for us.
Exactly. You know, it wasn't like he said, I have some video of him. And when they were doing interviews with me and they interviewed him, he said, you know, we'll rattle him, you know, we'll haze him a little bit, but we're not going to paint your face. But, you know, the thing is, Anthony can dish it back. You know, he can take it and he can dish it back. And that's one thing, you know, if I ever won the Masters, you know, I would probably serve enchiladas, rice and beans, you know, and that's what we do, you know.
No, but you know what? Hey, but
my mom would have been busy because her chicken enchiladas during the Texas Open were famous, world famous. Yeah.
Right here, I got a great, and if you don't mind, man, throughout this time, I got people chiming in. I got a lot of people chiming in. Some good stuff right here. Yeah. I got Jonathan Akin right here, and it's a long comment. Jonathan Akin, cool story. Played in a Texas Open qualifier at Fair Oaks back when I thought I was the shit. Was paired with Anthony and thought how cool. This guy is the man. I seriously went into my practice round thinking I was going to beat him. He shot a cool 65 like nothing and whooped my ass. He was in another league. Cool thing is he was super nice and earned a fan and lots of respect from this amateur hat.
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. I can remember that. That was a 65. And it was one of those days where I was practicing on Sunday and I went to hit balls. Actually, when Terry Alvarez was out at Canyon Springs, I went to hit balls and I couldn't find anything, dude. I was struggling. I found a little something in my grip that had taken away and went out there, and it was just one of those days that everything fell into place. And 65 up there at Live Oak, it held up for a long time as the course record, believe it or not. And then some kid back, I guess about 7 years ago, there was an AJJ event out there, and some kid shot 60, I think. So.
Well, okay, so funny. So that's a perfect lead in right there to the AGGA, all right? Like the amateur, what is it? Amateur Junior Golf Association.
It's American Junior Golf Association.
There you go. American Junior Golf Association. We got a picture right here. I'm going to try to bring this picture up right here. All right, we got a great picture. All right. Of you and this guy right here. Of you and this guy way back when.
Yeah. That is old Tiger Woods. That's actually my golf bag he's carrying. He caddied for me right there. So we used to have if you look at our shirt, it says Cannon Cup on that. And it's East versus West. It's junior golf and it's Ryder Cup format. And your singles, we played alternate shot. We were partners for alternate shot. And we shot 5 under alternate shot. And then you had a caddy for your partner in a singles match. Well, he caddied for me, and then his single match got rained out, so I didn't have to caddy for him.
So you got the treatment, right? You got the treatment.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, I kind of say I had a big influence in his career, that he was a better golfer than caddy, and we remained friends, and he's gone through some tough times, and I wish him the best, but. Even to this day, when I'd be at Q school during Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, they used to have the Skins game in Palm Springs. I don't know if you remember watching that when you were younger and stuff, but I used to go out there and he'd go, "Hey, Rob, what's going on? What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm back at Q school again." Well, so he's done really good. Tiger was a nice guy. I was the only one that he'd be hitting balls, and I remember at the Byron Nelson, he'd be swinging, I'd be hitting balls at him on the range, and people would be like, "What are you doing? Look, he's hitting balls at Tiger Woods." I mean, Tiger's Tiger, I feel bad for him because I always ask, "Hey, let's go and have a drink, or let's go and eat or anything." He goes, "Man, I can't, I just can't." And if you saw his documentary about everything, all that was true. He really was sheltered. I mean, a lot of times he ate his food downstairs. He didn't want to be amongst us, to believe it or not. That's how he separated from us. And, people thought it was an arrogant, asshole-ish, dickish move or whatever, but that's what he needed, and he proved himself, and now he got the respect of the world, well deserved. I mean, look what he's done for golf. He has opened doors. Everything especially when all the craze before we started playing or going for the Olympics, everybody talked about how quote unquote, he was juicing, and there was a number of guys that were using steroids and stuff because we weren't getting drug tested, and shit, a lot of those guys were saying, you know what, who cares? As long as he let him win as many times as he wants, because he's brought more money to 30th place where I'm going to finish than winning the golf tournament. I still make more money. That's what he's done. But he's a hell of an athlete. He really is.
Now you say that, and I truly agree with you. Like a lot of the guys, I'm so curious as to were the guys haters or not, but then like you just stated that a lot of these guys, they acknowledge that, you know what, if Tiger's in the tournament, whether if it's the Shriners or if it's the Buick or if it's the LA, or if it's the Waste Management or whatever, the Phoenix Open, it doesn't matter what event. If Tiger's in it, that purse is going up crazy.
Every time it's going to go up, and he is the needle. I mean, he is the needle of golf. Yeah, of course.
And how was it like that being a youngster? I guess because those pictures were a good ways away. Like you said, you were a senior when he was a sophomore, right?
He was a sophomore, yeah. And then in '96, when he won Vegas, I had just gone through first stage of Q school and won in a 4-man playoff to make it to second stage. Back then, you had to go through stages. And then I came here to the Texas Open and played in the Texas Open, and then he finished third. And then I proceeded to go off and get my card that year in '96 for the '97 season. So we were on tour. They gave him Rookie of the Year, but we were on tour the same time in '97. But, he really had a different practice regimen. I mean, and everything he did. I mean, he was Tiger Woods. And, I really thought I was Tiger Woods. My first encounter with Tiger Woods was at an AJG event in Las Vegas. And I remember I led the whole golf tournament, and my dad and I were watching it on the news, and, Tiger did this, Tiger this, and Anthony Rodriguez is your leader at 69. And, Tiger was Anthony Rodriguez is your leader at 500 or 600 par. And then at the end, it was when Tiger did this, he finished third, but, wasn't no match for Anthony Rodriguez, who led all 3 rounds, but that was it. No. Yeah, but I think I got a little respect from him back then. Like I said, I thought I was Tiger Woods. I mean, I had the world in the palm of my hand, and I was a great golfer, and I let everybody know I did. I mean, people know, and it's one of those things where if you don't have it, they're going to take it away. You got to have the it factor. I don't care who you are, and you get brought back down to reality out there. I tell you that for sure. But it's the guys that get through and make it past their first year, second year. And, it's that one lip out that goes, that should have lipped out, but it went in, or that one bounce that hits a tree and comes back in the fairway instead of going out of bounds. I mean, all those are life changers. I think I finished second twice on the Korn Ferry Tour. And I think there were like 20 and 23 under par, or 22 under par, and finished second place. And I can remember in Kansas, at Wichita, I missed like about a 2.5, 3 footer on the second round. And I said, God, if that haunts me. And then I ended up finishing at 22 under par, and Emily Harbley won it at 23 under. And I tell you, I mean, you think about all those moments that could change your life and everything. But, thank God, I'm healthy, and, I got a great kids, great family. I got a great wife. Well, I call her my wife, but, maybe I wouldn't be here right now. So everything happens for a reason. It really does. Would I change anything? No, I don't think I would. Maybe I'd like maybe a couple of wins. And all your Aggies out there are listening, I'd like to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, heck, I'm not even in the Churchill Hall of Fame here in San Antonio. I won 13 times here.
Now you're talking about some royalty right there, bro. Okay,
yeah.
You're talking about some royalty.
Nobody's broken any of those records at Churchill. I mean, winning district and regional 3 years, sophomore, junior, and senior year, and making it to state. And I never played well at state, but I had 13 career wins in high school here, and still nothing.
You're like that guy that shows up to the football games wearing your Letterman.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Come on, dude. Al Bundy, huh?
and I know I hear you say it, and it's comforting to hear because I know we as humans we all have our ups and downs, and we always think, if you could take this pill, have $2 million. If you could take this pill, go back and change something. Now,
Oh,
as
dude,
you
don't.
talk as you, as you talk about these highs and lows, what was probably the lowest point you had in your professional career as a golfer?
Lowest point in my professional career. Whew, that's a good one. Um, you lose your card. I lost my card on the PGA Tour. Lose your card on the Corn Ferry Tour, and you know, I had stopped playing in I think it was '09, '08, because my son was born, and wasn't able to go out. I would help out at home and stuff on in Canada. I played in 4 years in Canada. But one of the lowest moments I would have to say is you're gonna laugh, but when I missed that little small putt at the big break in Mesquite when I got eliminated, it was like a 2.5 footer, and I missed it. I mean, I had for 3 years I thought about that putt. I That's something that goes back. Now, if we're gonna talk about a golf tournament, oh man, finishing, not winning one of those events. I had the lead going. We had a tournament in the middle of Odessa, and in the Corn Ferry event there it used to be called what was the name? It was the second course at Odessa Country Club, and I had the lead going the last day and shot 68, and shot 20 under par or something like that. And Michael Christie shot 65 the last day, beat me by a shot. It's those moments. You know, Tour school sucks, dude. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I did it 19 times. How about that?
Oh
Tour
shit!
school. Being out there or missing. I can remember in 2011, I went to tour school and I went out to second stage, and I was at Deerwood at second stage, and I was right on the bubble, right on the bubble. It looked like I wasn't going to make it. And I was driving home, and I was right there at I-10 in Columbus, there, the city of Columbus at I-10, and got a phone call and said, "You made it." I said, "No, I didn't." No, I said, "Don't F with me." And they said, "No, you made it. You made it. Somebody shot 80 the last day, and you jumped them." And it was like one of those last minute deals. They didn't have playoffs. So, that was just one of those, that changes your life all of a sudden too. Now you're at finals. Now you have a chance to get, and that was the last year that you were going to get, they are honoring PGA Tour status at finals. Um,
Wow.
and I remember I had a bad draw. It was there at PGA West and the Nicholas course. And the first day I'm 700 through like 14 holes. And I look up at the leaderboard and I'm leading the golf tournament. I'm like, oh shit, I'm leading Q school, and proceeded to make a triple bogey on the next hole in the par five, and then bogey the next one, and end up shooting only 2 under 70, and then going the next day and it was blowing 40 miles an hour, dude. It was
Wow.
so hard. And we're playing the stadium course, and you know golf, you know how hard that golf course is, the stadium course where they play the finals now. And I shot 79 and played great, and then proceeded to shoot under par and shoot 60. I think I shot 64, 69 the last 2 days, and ended up missing my tour card for like 2 shots or something like that.
Wow.
But I had full status on the Corn Ferry Tour, and I thought it was a stepping stone for me. And it was 1 year coming back, and then I just had a horrible year, and um, found out I had low testosterone, and was getting tired. And they said I think I tested at I think it was my level was 110 or 170. It was maybe 170. My level was 170. And dude, at that age, we're at 38. What is it? Shit, I can't remember. Maybe 50 now. So, anyways, back then, your level should be 650, 700, 800. And it was like 170. And they said, no, you're not low enough to have a medical exemption to have testosterone. I was like, man. So, anyways, yeah, that's real hard. And Doug Barron was the first one to come out and fight the tour about that. I don't know if you remember that,
No, I didn't.
about the testosterone, and how he was taking it. and the drug testing. They said, no, you can't do that. And, he fought a lawsuit with that. And I had to hire an attorney, and my attorney said, dude, it's not going to be worth it. You're not going to win. And so I played all year, and we got drug tested, and it's tough. It is really, really hard, and when you're dealing with health issues, testosterone and the stamina and all that, it plays a big part in your life. You're young enough, you don't have to worry about that. But
you know what? I caught for 18 years. All right. So I got knees of like a 60-year-old man, even though I'm 42. All right. All right. A-Rod, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to try to pay a few little bills here. All right. Perfect. And then I'll bring it back on. I'd like to thank FOREBROS Tour, my FOREBROS Golf League right here. All right. Never golf alone again. Make sure, guys, to check out FOREBROS on Facebook for all our scheduling, all our updates. We got some great things going on. Great event going on this Saturday. We'll be at Comanche Trace. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. That is FOREBROS Tour for events, results. Never golf alone again. Also, we got a brand new game going on. We got King of the Par 3. That's right. We take your score for all of the par 3s. And if by chance there's any tie, we don't do a scorecard playoff. We go on, that money stays there, and it goes on and it transfers to the next event. They will be at Comanche Trace this Saturday. Beautiful course. We get on the courses that nobody else gets access to. That is FOREBROS Tour. Check us out on Facebook. Never golf alone again. If you need a home, we got a home for you. All right, guys, back to our conversation with A-Rod right here. All right, A-Rod, let's get into it. Let's get into the big break, my favorite. This is one of my favorite shows. If you are a golfer, if you're a golf hack, well, at least in your early 40s or your late 30s, you got to love the big break, it was our own golf reality show. Now tell me, how did you get a bid to get on this show?
Funny story. So it had been playing for a few years, and everybody's saying, hey, you need to get on the show. You need to get on the show. And I was playing a tournament in Houston, and I went online and filled out this long application. Excuse me. And the first question is, in 300 words or less, describe why this would be your big break. And me being me, I said it wouldn't. Next question.
So I guess at this time, A-Rod had been created, or
in the
process,
because this was 2007, right? So A-Rod had been created, but it wouldn't. I mean, making the PGA Tour was your big break, and then playing that. I mean, so and they went on and on. So I did it more as a joke, just to get people, hey, try. They didn't let me on, and I was playing the Canadian Tour, and I got a phone call in Mexico, and I was playing. Actually, I was rooming with Travis Matthew, the brand Travis Matthew, the shirts. Well, Travis Johnson is his name. Travis Johnson is his name. And we were talking about that. And he goes, hey, dude, I'm going to start a clothing line. I said, dude, that's cool. And I said, what is he going to call it? He's going to do it Travis Matthew, because that's his middle name. And I said, oh, cool. Good luck with that. And anyways, long story short, I get a phone call, and I found out that I'd gotten a second interview. And there was this tour was called the U.S. Pro Golf Tour. I was playing another tour, and it was basically, it was an unbelievable tour. They had so much money, and it went broke, or the guy stole a lot of money. But anyways, they said, you're going to be at this tournament in Dallas. I said, yes. He goes, well, we're going to do camera interviews. So if you can be there, would you do it? I said, yeah, of course. So I get to the camera interview, and he goes, okay, I need you to hit driver, 5-iron, and then wedge, and I want you to hit it, hit a cut, hit a draw, and then hit it straight. And then after your last wedge shot that you do that with, turn around and say something to the camera. So I hit all the shots, and I turned around and I said, listen, you already know what you need to know about me. If you put me on the show, I'll call it controversy. How about that? And sure enough,
you did, man.
I lived up to my word. How about that?
Oh, man. And you know what? Here, I got to put that picture up there. There it is right there.
Yeah.
There it is, man. You were the antagonist. You were like the Dennis Rodman out there, man. And you know what? I'm telling you, like, damn, everybody just wanted to tune in because everybody wanted to. You were like the Yankees, bro. Everyone hated on you. Yeah. Everyone wanted to see every week if you were going to make it, or if you were going to get voted off, or not voted off, if you were going to lose your way off.
Yeah. That first one was a tough one for me because, during the rules, they said if you're ever one or two, you'll never have to go through elimination or anything like that. And then Hiroshi and I were always one and two, and I think I was two when they changed the rules and said, okay, now we're gonna pick. You got to pick teams, and then you have to go through elimination. I got so mad. My anger got the best of me there for sure, and you could see that. I mean, I think I made top 10 throws on the Golf Channel. You know, yeah, but after doing that, I swear I'd never do it again because I got perceived as the villain, quote unquote, which is funny now because now I say, yeah, I was the villain. But back then it wasn't. And, I felt sorry for the guys at Oak Hills because I was wearing Oak Hills clothing. And I remember the senior tour event was coming out there and they said, are all you guys assholes out here like the asshole on the big break? And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, damn,
You
dude.
know, yeah, that was not good. But what people didn't realize, it's a reality show and it's edited. There were some things that I didn't say that showed that I said, but that it's a show. I mean, it was a TV show. That's exactly what it was. But the great thing is it opened a door for me. It opened a lot of doors. There was a lot of times I'd go to a golf tournament, be at a Hooters, and I'd get free beer, sent to me by, hey, I saw you on TV, dude. I can't wait to watch you next week, or what happened? Tell me what happens, and I'm like, dude, I can't tell you. But oh, I love you on the show. I love it. It was awesome. The big one was Dominican Republic. That was a big one where I actually won the MVP of the guys portion of that. And it Brian, you remember Brian, who was it? He was a character. Now he was something else.
He was very quirky. He was very quirky. You know what? And for some reason, I was hoping like it was like a tale of two A-Rods. You know what? When the season started in Dominican Republic, all the girls were just like they were sick of you. They were like they had seen your antics, and they were really like preparing for the asshole that you in Mesquite, right?
Yeah.
And then you see this Dominican, you're like, oh man, A-Rod's the nice guy. A-Rod's the cool guy, and then Brian.
That first episode when we broke the glass, and it was our first show, and it was breaking the glass, and I mean, I started the guys, and I hit it right on the first one, and we went through, and we ended up winning by like a second or something like that, and I turned to the girls and I said, hey, so are we gonna high five or congratulate her, or what are we gonna do? And I remember Elena Robles, she goes, oh, she said something. I said, calm down there, sweet cheeks, all right. Just
oh man,
yeah. And that's when it's all started.
yes. But you know what? And this is what I say too, right? I was talking with somebody today, and they're like, "Dude, you're gonna have A-Rod on the show. Like, man, is he an asshole like everyone?" I was like, "Dude, you know what?" I was like, "He's been nothing but cordial and just a badass dude to me." And I think everything, like you stated, this, there's the persona and the villain, and there always has to be, the antagonist and then the hero, right? There always has to be the two, and that's what sells, right?
Yes.
And I think as I watch you, like, you make it seem like, you're the guy in the group that I want to be, that is confident in themselves, that can chirp, that can dish it, but also can take it. Like, hey man, you can't put shit out there that you're not prepared to take back, right?
Very, that is so true. Yeah.
And you know what? And that's what I've always loved and admired about you. And when I'm confident, and I'm a hack golfer, I'm a 10 index, I'm a 10, and I feel like when the putts are rolling, you know what? I like to jab, and I like to prod, I like to poke, and I like to get under people's skin because it's not my game. It's the whole package that's going to get you off of your game.
Yeah, no, and that's the best part when you can talk shit and then receive it back, and it's this and that. I mean, that's what makes it fun. Exactly. And then when you put it in their face, or they give you, and you're like, okay, dude, you deserved it. I'm sorry. Great shot. You deserved it. I mean, you did it. And no, but that's just my personality, Andy. I mean, I'm that guy. And, I used to back it up very well. I talk all the shit I want. I used to back it up very well, now in my older age, and things have gone a little different, but, I'm back on track and trying to get things better. But, that you gotta have that. And people don't like you for it. People call you arrogant and are an asshole. And, there's some places where they won't let me go play, and, because they think they think I'm an arrogant asshole, and it's not true. And people are listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And, it's just it. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm fortunate enough to, I just joined TPC and I'm practicing there, and they've been really good to me out there. And the practice facility is great, and golf courses are great, and the Dominion is under contract, under construction right now. They're getting that all back
Yep.
up and running again, and the greens are still good here in the tee boxes. And we had an issue with the drought, just like everybody else in San Antonio, and but they're redoing their driving range, so I needed a place to practice, and I was fortunate enough to go out to TPC, and that's I guess where I'm leading this into what my future has. What we were going to talk about.
We're not there. We're not there just yet, man. This is my show. This is my show, man. I was like, this is my show. All right. I got Cameron Carillon right here. Cameron Carillon, she is a stud amateur golfer at a UTSA. She qualified. She qualified at the women's NCAA championship this past year. Friend of the podcast. Had the pleasure of talking with Mr. A-Rod at TPC. Really cool guy.
She is a wonderful person. What a great golf swing she has.
It's beautiful, right? For a lefty. For a lefty, lefties don't really look ugly.
And she's so modest. And I get to know her. I've talked to her a couple of times, but she was like, "Hey, let's go play golf someday." I'm just kind of like, "Oh, that'd be great," But watching her on the golf, watching her swing, and I was like, "Man, you're really good." And I found out somebody at the TPC told me she won the state FOREBROS this year.
She did. Yeah, this past summer.
Kudos to her, and she is so modest, and but I guarantee she's modest, but she has that.
Oh no, she's a dog on the course, dude. No, she's a bulldog on the course, bro.
Yeah, she's gonna give me 3 aside. And
okay. And one thing I want to talk about too is on Dominican Republic, because I know the girls had won, and I can't remember what lady won, but got her because
Blair O'Neill.
Yeah, there you go, Blair O'Neill from the golf channel.
The hair just went up, stood up.
Oh yeah. but you know what? I know they made an exception for you, and they also gave you a bid. Is that true? Was that true, or was that just?
That was very true. That was very. Nobody had any idea that was going to happen. When we went through it and going through the awards at the end, and when they mentioned that and that I received the exemption, man, it was heart fulfilling, And I had every night I had a big party get together, I should say, at TPC on the big jumbotron in the sports bar there, and we all watched
the Velocity,
and I had I didn't tell nobody, because I couldn't tell anybody what was going to happen at the end or the last episode. It was cool. Yeah,
man, that I thought that was such a great gesture, and I was always curious about that because I know like it was a tough season. And I know you fell short of getting that qualifier. And I thought that was just, I think that's what the power of sports and what golf and everything is just, man, that's what it's all about. Isn't that
the game
forward, right?
The game's opened up so many doors for me. When I gave up golf in 2013, and went and started working in the oil field. And I remember walking into Weatherford's office, and gentleman by the name of Johnny. He was coming, and I said, "Here, I want to apply for a job." And he goes, "Well, you need to go online." And, I didn't have a resume. I didn't have anything. I played golf my whole life. And, I had zero experience. So we walk, and he goes, "Come here, I'll talk with you back here." So I remember going back, and first thing I learned in school was look around and see something that you guys have something in common. Well, first thing I noticed, he had a Masters shirt on. And I saw some golf pictures, and I said, "Masters, did you go?" He goes, "Oh, let me tell you a funny story." Well, about 2.5 hours later, we started, and he goes, "You know what? Don't worry about going online. I'll get you the interview." And then 2 weeks later, went through the whole interview, did all that. And then he goes, "We'll call you in a couple of weeks and see." And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call, and I said, or for a second interview. And I said, "Well," they knew you. They asked Anthony. I said, "Yeah, this is so-and-so Weatherford. And do you know why we're calling you?" I said, "Well, probably for the second interview." And he goes, "No, you got the job." So that's how I got started in the oil field, but it had to do with golf. I mean, if it wasn't for golf, I would have had nothing to talk about. And he had my background. He knew exactly who I was. He'd see me play. And, those doors had opened. Those golf has opened a lot of doors, just in general. I mean, business is closed on the golf course. Anybody can say that. Business is closed on the golf course. But fortunate enough to get to, in the same way, when the oil field crashed, I started working for another company and, got it because I could play golf, and met him on the golf course as well. So, it's been good to me, and I've given back as much as I could. And there's still more to give back, but, I forgot where we're going with this, dude.
Hey, no, hey, you're going. You know what? I'm following you. So wherever you're going, I'm following you. And you know what? And you're right. It's a great game. And I look at it as, and this is my 87th episode. My 87th episode. And
that's great. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. And my daughter and I were talking about on the way, and she goes, "Dad, who do you have tonight?" And I'm showing pictures of you. She goes, that guy looks a lot like Tiger Woods. You're having him? I said, no. The guy to the left of him, the other guy.
And, no, Tiger Woods is his caddy.
And she's like this, and she comes home telling my wife, "Mom, Dad's having somebody on the show that Tiger Woods caddied for." And my wife's like, yeah, whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? This is what I hate about coming home. This is what I hate. You always try to bring me down. And no, but you're right about it opening doors. And I got my buddy Cody Brooks, who's a long driver for the Texas League. 100% agree with that about how golf has opened doors. Golf opens doors, but I also think in hearing that about you that it's kind of like an art. It's an art. You're an artist, and a lot of times, why do we play? Why are you a marksman? Why are you a shooter? Because you know what, you kind of get lost in those moments, right? You get lost in that game, and from feeling, I know you're out just on another screen, but I feel how much love and passion you have for that game, and you're able to share that with Cameron. You're able to give that feeling and pay it forward to golfers like Emma, to your boys. It's such a beautiful game, and if that's where you're going with it, I am definitely following you, my man.
No, you go there. Yeah, if people don't realize how hard I really worked. I was at the golf course, 8 hours a day. I was fortunate enough to practice and be able to practice. And when I moved to San Antonio, was to go out to Santerre, and I was on the golf course every day, hit balls. People don't realize how good you need to be in order to practice. In any sport, there's always somebody is practicing harder than you. In any sport, there's always somebody that's practicing harder. But not everybody gets the same break. Dude, when they start calling you lucky, you're good. Because good things happen to things that, if you work hard, and you got to go into these golf tournaments. And I'm talking to everybody out there who's listening, who practices, who wants to be professional, or wants to be a top amateur golfer, even to your club championship, to city amateur, to a mini tour event. You got to go in knowing that you've done everything you could to get here, and then, in the back of your head, between right here, you get to a certain level. That's where it is, right there. I mean, it 100%. It's right here. You've done everything you could physically. You've hit 400 or 500 golf balls a day, or you've practiced, but you got to believe in yourself right here, and that's where it is.
I truly agree with you there. That belief is huge. My regular job, or my real job, is I'm a teacher and a coach. And funny you talk about hard work and getting lucky, is because every day I give my boys, or my team, I coach girls basketball as well. But right now, hey, it's football season, baby. You know that with your boys, it's football season, right?
Oh.
And so I give my boys a quote before every practice. And if they don't memorize it at the end, they have to run gassers, right? So they try their best, right? You remember this part. Well, the quote I gave them yesterday was, I find the harder I work, the luckier I am.
Very true.
And again, I think, like you stated, things happen for a reason. And I think you being on the show at this time, my first Wednesday night, because I'm not getting involved with that Thursday night football. All right. So I'm making special changes to the show, especially during football season. And I love to hear that, because I don't think kids nowadays, and I think it's something that, as a teacher, and I've been doing this for 17 years, that everything they want it now. You know, they don't want to wait. They don't want it now. And I'm sure you know that it's about the journey. You know, like, it's about the journey. It's about those tiger stripes you have. It's about you know, it's about being worn down. Like, how did you get worn down? How did you get those calluses on your hands? You know,
and like Tiger said it best, you know, building a legacy, you know, on the PGA Tour. But you know, we're gonna, just like anything else, let's get into the live conversation for a little bit. You know.
Oh yeah. Hey. Okay. Right here. Before we get there, I got to give some comments out there, man.
Okay. All right.
People making some good comments. Okay. My boy Ray Garza out at On Par Golf, give me 3 aside.
Yeah, not a chance.
Hey, Ray's a stud, man. Ray's a baller.
I know. I would. Yeah. No. He's asking for 3 aside. You know, he's gonna give me 3 aside.
All right. And then I got right here. I got John. John, is it Kameniski?
Yeah, he's from Corpus.
There you go. Hey, there you go. That's my hometown. Ask Anthony about the rule where he beat me out of $100. We were at a tournament together, and it was a rule that happened to him at Q school. All right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, dude. I'm gonna tell you my stance, where I stand. You know what? I'm liking the live. I am. I'm liking the live. I'm liking the live golf.
Coming out, I was ranked, you know, 3rd in the country, something like that. Coming out of college, you know, I think they put it as 10th, but I could have sworn I was 3rd. But you know, it'd be hard to pass up the money. I mean, those are like Harold Varnell III. What he said is, this is life-changing money. It's not just for me; it's to my foundation.
Generational.
I'm going to change, not generational to your kids or your family, but he's changing the lives of other kids through his foundation. Not just for him. He's doing that for his foundation. This is life-changing money for everybody who's doing that. You know, you can, and you know. Now, have you noticed people are starting to come around? I mean, look, Phil Mickelson, he opened the doors to these golfers. Look what he did. Everything he came out seemed to, obviously that was true, you know, what he said. Because look, now all of a sudden, now the top 30 or 20 golfers are going to have those 20 events playing for so much money. I mean, that's crazy what they're paying for. No cuts, $500,000 to, you know, any PGA Tour member, though, you know, here's $500,000 just to get your life started out here. Appreciate you. Yeah.
You know, and he did it. And I hate to say that, oh, Phil, you're right. And you know what, but a lot of things that he stated, and that people were calling him crazy. But you know what? It's all come to fruition. It really has. And it's just like, you know what? Okay, so now it's, are we going to praise Phil? But you know what? Do you think that the PGA Tour gets there without Liv causing some ruffles?
No. The PGA still stays quiet, and they're just playing for their money, and nobody does anything. I mean, look what is it that Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, they're starting a Top Golf challenge.
Within the PGA Tour, they're gonna cash out. They're gonna cash out.
Of course. I mean, none of this would have happened. Now they're playing for what, $150 million now for those specialty events. You know, Greg Norman started this. You know, in '97, I remember being at Castle Pines in '97, and Norman was there, and he was promoting his World Golf Tour. That's what he was going to start. And they say, you know, he said, here you go. You know, if you give me $100, you're in for next year. And then, you know, his agent that he had working. So of course I gave the $100, and I was thinking, well, it never came to fruition, but the World Golf Championship is Greg Norman's tour that they started. That was Greg Norman who brought that out. You know, what I've gone, I think I would have. I mean, it's life-changing money. Nobody's going to make that much in their lifetime. A lot of them, you know.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're doubling and tripling what their career earnings. I mean, it just cannot be turned down. And you can't blame somebody. You can't blame somebody, because you know what, you're not present. I mean, if you were presented with it, I mean, you have to, right? I mean, you almost have to.
Who was the kid from OSU that took it with $30 million?
Was it? Was it?
Is a weird last name.
Was it Matthew Wolf?
No, 30 from the OSU. He just graduated and left, and just graduated from school, finished his 4 years. They offered him $30 million, and he goes, he had a weird last name. Anyways, but he said it best. He goes, I don't have to leave my couch and I'm set for life. You know, I got $30 million. I mean, he goes, I'm not guaranteed that on the PGA Tour. I'm not guaranteed to make that money. I'm not guaranteed, here it is. They've offered me this amount of money, guarantee for 4 years. I mean, yeah, well, there you go. And I've put that on Facebook. Anybody knows I'm available.
You just hey, you're sounding like a lot like your buddy John Daly. Just letting Greg know that you're out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, that was a fun day. That was in New Orleans, and we were waiting there. And the funny thing on the first tee, the whole tee box, both sides of the fairway. He's #1 in the world back then when I played with him, and it was funny. We were sitting there, and he was like, "Where is he? Where is he?" Everybody's kind of talking. I turned around. I said, "You think Greg is nervous because he's playing with me? That's why he's kind of running kind of late." But he shot the easiest 65 I've ever seen. I mean, he hit the ball so high and so straight, and then I hit this little bullet, and it would go down, and I'd outdrove him. But I'm telling you, he was the best putter I've ever seen, and you can see why he was #1 in the world.
He was my favorite golfer before there was Tiger, and I think it was because I said it here on the show one time is that I had a computer golf game, and it was a shark. He was on the cover, right? Yeah. And I didn't know how to play the game very well. I had to use the controllers. I had to do the up, down, the arrows, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? That's where I fell in love with it. And I was crushed whenever he wasn't able to follow through. And then they made all these comparisons as why is the live events 54-hole event? Because Greg Norman was always at the lead of these majors at 54. 54
live is 54, right? Those are the Roman numerals.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, this guy.
Yeah, I went to school at A&M with his nieces. And, they were friends of mine, and we talked about that. And we would talk about, when he was leading the Masters, and we were just excited about that when that happened. But nieces are really nice people. And I mean, his whole family is really nice. And, when he almost won the British Open coming back at 50 some years old, remember, he came back, He almost won the British Open, was leading going to the last day. He has a great story. He's a great businessman. And, he opened up the PGA Tour what it is now. Honestly, I'd hate to say it, but it's true.
And it was funny because I listen to a lot of these golf podcasts just because that's what I do. I mean, this is my love. This is my passion, right? And so hearing what happened way back then when they were at the Players and Jack and Arnie called a meeting, right, from the top 30 guys. Right. And they were all there in Arnie's office, that small office, and to tell Greg, no, you're not going to do this, right? No, you're not going to do this. Well, then now, hey, you know what? Rory and Tiger, they didn't try to put a stop to this. Jay Monahan, he could have took a meeting. He didn't even want to meet with him. I just think, you know what? I don't know how much longer Jay Monahan holds on to his job. That's why you haven't heard a rebuttal from the whole players meeting that they recently had out there. And you know what? Because he's just going to let Tiger and Rory do their thing because he just wants to hope that he can hold on to his job.
Well, I guarantee you a lot of those guys that were down on the money list that, they weren't going to make the top 125 and all these guys went to the live. They all of a sudden they moved their way up and they moved their way up to the
Danny Willett, the former Masters champion. He got his card now. He got his card. He was going to miss. He was going to be at 126.
Yeah, there you go. There's other guys. I mean, think of all the other guys that were right there. We have some golfers that would, that I'm sure would go. Abraham's here and he went. He said it best. He says, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so I got to take it what I can. And he deserves it. I mean, he's played great and he's had a great last few years, and he's done really good business investments, and he knows what he's doing. And what a great guy he is.
No, he's awesome. And you know what? A lot of times, as I've built this podcast and built this, not a lot of people have been kind to me along the way, and that's one thing I really appreciate you and a good other guys in the city, Joe Caruso. I got Ben Carricker, guys that are staples of golf here in town that have been just kind to me and not total dickheads, right? And I think the thing is that Abraham, being nice to me and being kind to me, he's always given me his time when I've seen him at the tournaments or I've covered. The thing that hurts me the most is that he created kind of like this lore and his legendary status at the President's Cup when he played so well and he took Tiger to the brink, and then it's crushing. It's a crushing blow, to see him finally get his win, and then his PGA Tour win, and then to now not see him on that President's Cup team for the internationals.
Yeah, but that's where I think they could have. I mean, they could have, made a new rule or something like that to have the best players in the world play each other, regardless of what tour. When Azinger, it's funny when he was doing the Ryder Cup, when he was the Ryder Cup captain, he was, I'm going to look everywhere. I'm going to look on back then it was the web.com tour. I'm going to look everywhere where whoever's playing their best golf, we're going to look there. Of course, he never would, but you know what? Regardless what tour, if in the Olympics, you don't have to be on the PGA Tour in these other countries, or the World Cup, in the golf. You don't have to be on the PGA Tour. Your country says, yeah, you qualified, or we want you to play. Good friend of mine, Joseph Nafa, who plays out here at Dominion. He played with Jonathan Vegas. He played for Venezuela in the World Cup. He didn't have his tour card, but why not be able to do that for the President's Cup? You have your best tour players from the other countries, let them all play. I mean, if you go by world ranking, that's fine. But what's the difference if you're doing that or having these players that play in the Olympics playing for the country? What is the difference? This is what you're playing for anyways. It's a Ryder Cup or whatever. You're still playing for your country like we are, or they're playing for, the other countries. But why not? Why wouldn't that work?
All right, let's change it up here as we get towards the end of this interview right here. All right, tell me, favorite golf course here in the surrounding San Antonio area?
Pecan Valley when it was there.
Dude, you're breaking hearts out here, man. Stop, dude. Stop. All right, stop. We've already cried. We've laughed. Yeah, right? We're sharing all these emotions right here. Don't do this right now. Don't do this to me.
The first day that Pecan Valley had opened back in I think it was 2000. The first day it opened when they put the money in the renovated. We went out and played it, and I'm playing with Harry Ramirez, Joey Gonzalez, Dave Harmer, David Ray, and myself.
Joey Gonzalez, man, yeah. That's my dude.
And I shot 61. Shot 61, and it was and it even came out in the paper that it was one of the top 50 best things that happened in San Antonio, shooting 61. And because the course record at the time was 64 or 65, and it was shot during the PGA Championship. So Pecan Valley was a great golf course, but surrounding area right now, I mean, there's so many good golf courses. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you the hardest golf course here in San Antonio is the Oaks. The TPC.
I would say that's probably that's got to be up there. I think especially I think it's right after the Valero Open. I think that's probably the time to play it if you really want to challenge yourself and get after it and see if you're able to compete at that level. I think that's when the best time to play it.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, it really is.
I almost quit the game of golf there. All right. I almost quit the game of golf there. I think I was on not 10, it was 11. And again, I'm playing up from several tee boxes up, right?
Sure. Forward.
And so I think I hit and I'm 97 out, right? And I'm like, damn, I'm feeling good. My buddy and I were playing in a 2-man event. Why go and I think a gust of wind right at the top, right at the end, hits the golf ball. It hits the top of the green, comes back into a bunker. I think I hit and it hits the lip. It comes back. I think I'm in such a weird stance. I have to hit out to another bunker to get out. And man, I said, you know what? I said, we were tied for the lead. And like you said earlier, one of your earlier stories is that we looked at the leaderboard. And after that, the wheels fell off, and I almost quit the damn game of golf that day.
No, it's the golf gods got me from 10 Cup.
Favorite golf movie. Favorite golf movie.
About to say we were going to talk about baby. You know what? People don't know it, but it's actually Dead Solid Perfect. I don't know if
Dead Solid Perfect with
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, I mean that is about as true as it can be on the PGA Tour, honestly. True golf tournament, you know. But you know, during so my sister had a big old thing during Q school. They watched The Legend of Bagger Vance, you know, and that was their motto. I mean, my nephews, I mean, they were 5, 6 years old, you know, even younger than that, 4. They know the line from Legend of Bagger Vance, you know, back and forth. So Legend of Bagger Vance is a great movie. And you know, people who haven't seen that, even greatest game ever played, Francis Ouimet, you know. Little Eddie had the best lines in that thing, you know. Francis says, "Oh, I don't know." He said something. He goes, "You just got to play better." You know,
yeah, Eddie, yeah, you just got to play better.
You just got to play better, or hey, I can beat these guys. Well, nobody said you couldn't. You know, there's some great lines in those things, and people got to take those things to heart. Like, you know what? Nobody says you couldn't beat them. You know, you got to believe in yourself. But yeah, probably one of the greatest movies. You know, everybody's going to say Caddyshack, but you know, if you're going to talk about true golf movies, it's going to be yeah, the greatest. What did I just say? I just told you.
The greatest game. The greatest game.
Dead Solid Perfect.
Dead Solid Perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what? My good buddy Hanato Davila, who owns
great guy.
DSP, who owns DSP, and I was like, where did you come up with the name? He goes, well, I took it from a movie, and I was like, dang, you know it. And so now I'm trying to find that movie. That is such a hard movie to try to.
I can't find it. I found it on DVD a long time ago. It's hard to find. But real quick, let's go back to John's question. I think it was a moving ball. You know, when you place the ball on the and John, if this is correct or not, but once you place the ball into down, even though your ball is marked, if you place it and then it stayed there and then it starts moving, even though you haven't picked up your coin, this was the rule back then. I'm not sure they've changed the rules now, but the ball is in play. So it could actually roll down the hill, you know, say if you had trouble and it stayed all of a sudden and you leave your mark there and you go read the putt from the other side, all of a sudden the ball starts trickling. The ball's in play, even though you haven't struck it. So you got to play it from where it is now. If that's the answer, John, I think, but you know, $100 is $100. I mean, yeah, you tell me.
Somebody tell me that rule has changed. And you know what? I understand what you're saying because we were playing at Comanche Trace, right? We were playing at Comanche Trace, and I think it was back in March. There was like that 40-mile-an-hour winds, and right, all the golf courses were shutting down, right? Well, my group, my FOREBROS, we were freaking stupid. We go and play. We go drive out to Kerrville because it's Comanche Trace, right? It's a course that you cannot. Great golf course, right?
Golf course I love, but I hate it because I can't play it, and it sucks that the Valero, the qualifiers there, because I just hate the creeks. I really do, and it's not because
it's tough.
I just hate it, and everybody's like, "Hey, let's go play Comanche." I'm like, "No, I hate the golf course. I really do." But it's such a good golf course, though. It's because you know some golf courses just don't fit your eye. You know,
they don't fit your game, right? Well, okay.
They're big enough fairways, and it's just a good golf course that, you know, I had too many bad experiences, I guess, on that.
Hey, man, you sound like that was one of your exes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So it's Casey Carnes. It's C2, my man Casey Carnes, right? One of the top amateurs here in the city. He said, once it's marked on the green, that's the place. And again, because you know what, because of situations that have occurred previously, and you know what, it just makes sense as to why they would change those rules, right? Because I know it happened with Ricky Fowler. I know his ball was marked, right? And I know he was playing, I think it was the Phoenix Open, right? The Waste Management. He goes up and the ball had come to rest, right? Well, he's about to get up there, and then the ball starts taking off back down. Right?
Yeah, but that was when it rolled in the water. I'm saying on the green though. Once it's that it used to be, if it would mark. Once you put it down, it was in play. Now I guess they've changed the rule or not, but it used to be that way too.
Well, you know what? I wanted to say I'm glad he chimed in for Casey Carnes because I wanted to wish Casey Carnes well wishes and good luck because he's going to be competing in the U.S. Men's Mid-Am out at Erin Hills. All right, next week.
You know, I was fortunate enough to be able to play with him and Terrence. And we played in a little tournament in Sonora, and what a great ball striker he is, and a great guy, and just the personality, and he has the it factor, but he doesn't let you know it. I mean, he's just very humble, but I mean, that he's a hell of a player, a ball striker, and I'm surprised he hasn't turned pro. To be honest, he is good enough to play. Him and I work with the same swing coach, Buck Myers. We both worked with him, and Buck has said nothing but great things about him. And I think him and I are the only ones that have been on TrackMan, and we've had 0 and 0. And I don't know. And the first time I worked with Buck, he goes, "There's only one other person I've ever seen 0-0," and he goes, "I'm going to text him right now." And he texts him, and he asks, "Hey, there's somebody here that actually has a 0-0." And in case he goes, "Is it A-Rod?" And that's a very big compliment. It really is a big compliment.
So for those people that don't know, what does that mean? What does that mean, 0-0 on the TrackMan?
Just your club face and angle and whatever it is. I really don't even know. I
there's like no movement, or there's no like
you know what? Like I said, I learned playing golf by hitting in the dirt. Okay, I can see my divot here, but I see what the ball's doing there. I had nothing. I know nothing about TrackMan and everything, and that's what everybody's doing nowadays. I mean, I was at a TPC and this a few days ago, and this guy's hitting in front of me. I was like, man, he's got a good golf swing. He had a Georgia Tech bag, and a young guy, and I said, "You practicing for Q school? You got a Q school?" And he goes, "Something like that." And that was his answer. And I went, So we're hitting balls some more, and he's looking at TrackMan, and he's doing his deal. And I go, "Where are you from?" He goes, "I live in Atlanta now, but I'm from Dallas." And then we started talking about Champions Tour, and then he goes, "Yeah, my friend Mark Walker plays on that." And anyway, long story short, his name was Vincent something, but he finished 109th on the list. But he didn't say, "Yeah, I'm on the PGA Tour. I finished 109th." He just said, "Yeah, something like that." He was very, very humble. But he was working with TrackMan, and if you look on if you go to the practice range, every player has TrackMan now, and that's what they go by. And it's a hell of a deal. I worked some time with Rudy Gonzalez from Laredo Country Club.
Yeah.
And he has the same thing. And he says the hardest thing to do when we're working with we're doing some wedge shots. And, everybody's visual, see 60 yards. They know mentally how far, but it's try to hit 60 yards without looking at a target and just say, okay, I'm going to hit this 57 yards, or I'm going to hit this 62 yards. How close you can get. It's really hard without looking at a target. That's really hard to do. And that's what TrackMan does. It tells you exactly where you feel that you need to be in your golf swing to hit a certain shot, a certain number, to hit an 83-yard sand wedge or an 83-yard pitching wedge. You know what it is to feel. And TrackMan doesn't lie. It doesn't lie, but that's why they're $15,000 too.
Women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Like, you're doing a little deal and you get on your rangefinder and said, 157. They're like, "Oh, dude, it's not that far." I'm like, "I just shot it, man."
Right here we go. All right, I got John right here. Anthony, the new rule 13.1D, you must play the ball from the new spot.
There it is. So it is true.
Right here. All right. Cody Brooks, all right. Like I stated earlier, he's a good buddy of mine for the Texas League, for the amateur long drive competitions. I use my Jarman approach for my long drive tracking. I was at Mission before the rain came through, headed to Nationals in Myrtle Beach to represent Texas next week. Such good people. The amateur long drive Texas League here, man. These guys can bomb. Like, I mean,
dude,
like,
they hit it so far. Me and a good friend of mine, Texas Harper, a couple of years ago, they had the Press Golf League, and this was a press golf tournament out at Briggs Ranch. It's $100,000 first place. It was a $10,000 buy-in and $5,000 a piece, 2-man deal at Briggs. And, there you had players all from the Corn Ferry Tour. I actually was paired with Alex Cheka that last round, And I said, "What are you doing now?" And we knew each other from the PGA Tour. And he's like, "Oh, I got to go Monday qualified next week. And, I have 0 status out on the champion. So I had to go Monday qualify." Well, he goes out and we play. And I played well that week. I mean, and I said, he's a solid player. But, he goes out Monday qualifies, finishes 5th, then he finishes 2nd, then he wins the PGA Championship, and then wins the U.S. Open. I mean, boom. I have 0 status, but oh, okay, thanks.
I was like, damn, I wish I had that type of status, right?
Yeah, I mean, I even look at that, changed life. Stephen Alker, another journeyman that's played the Corn Ferry Tour for years and years. He gets out there and he had 0 status, and look what he's done. He's number 1 on the money list.
All right. So as we're talking about this status right here, why don't you tell everybody what's going on for people that are unaware of what's next for you in the game of golf?
In Champions Tour, I'm making my first run at Q School in November. It's something I'm working hard to. It's finally that I'll be one of the young guys or the young guy out there. Staying in shape and practicing. I guess you work and you've done this your whole life, and you get there and you go out there, and it's hard to give up the game. God's dangled that carrot in front of me so many times, and and then you sit there and you wonder, okay, why you keep doing this? And I'm going to have my break again. And then, maybe it's going to be on the senior tour. Lives changed out there. Like I gave 2 examples there with Alex Cheka and Stephen Alker. But, one that really stands out of my mind was, remember, Michael Allen, who played the PGA Tour and then, had a decent career, but, changed his life out there on the Champions Tour. I talked to Cameron Breckman. I've talked to Shane Birch, and those guys say it's so much fun. It's still competitive, very competitive. You can see that, but it's fun. It's laid back, but it's fun. It's very competitive. So I, been working out and working on my game, and that's the plan. And if things don't go as planned, I'm going to go Monday qualify. I want to go do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough to be in a place where I'm able to do that. That's the great thing.
I got Modi Vaughn right here. That's awesome, man. Go get him.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, that's the plan. And represent San Antonio, and I got some great friends behind me as well. And I think with social media and stuff like that. So I think it'd be fun again. I'm glad they didn't have social media when I was out there.
Thank God, right? I was like, shoot, man, I would have gotten a lot more trouble than I already do now. All right, Mary Santos right here.
Yeah,
Anthony, you got this.
Oh, I love you, mamitas. That's I call her my wife. That's Candy's best friend. They've been friends since 2nd grade. So she's big supporter and down in Laredo. You're gonna make me cry.
Now, man, everyone's pulling for you, dude, and that's great news. I think that's what a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see you get back on the course, get back out there and grind your way, and they want to see you, because ultimately, at the end of the day, why I think a lot of people have really followed you is because of your honesty, your transparency, and and ultimately, at the end of the day, you're a performer. You are, you're an entertainer. You're an entertainer, and I think people want to see you go out there and show your talent, because I think I always try to tell my kids, I said, guys, if you're not showing your God-given abilities, then what are we doing?
Yeah. And I don't know how much longer we have on the show, but I want to give a shout out to my boys that were listening. Bradley and Anthony, love you.
Oh, man, you're doing a great job, brother.
Thanks. Oh, man, you want to live a legacy for your kids. You want to do all that. And, I'm going to miss my son's first football game next Tuesday, because I'm going to go to the New Mexico State Open next week. And, and it's back again where, it's a give and take in life. You miss kids' baseball games. You miss this, you miss that, because you're going out there trying to make a living as well. And, I think my parents are still, I'm fortunate to still be around, and they can see this. They're watching this. Love you guys. My sister and, Lorraine Michelle. So, and one of my biggest supporters also, Candy. Love you.
Right here, I got Nancy Riojas Gonzalez. Great interview, Anthony. Love you, brother.
Thank you. Love you too. So yeah, I pulled another Bubba Watson on you.
That's all right, man. You know what? And again, I think at the end of the day, it's just, that's why people love you, dude. Is that because you can't get any realer than you already are. And I think that's one thing that just attracts a lot of people to you. And well, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to have you on your show. And I'm thankful that you've shared your story with us, because I don't think a lot of people know the leaps and bounds that you've made to get where you are to this day, and to give yourself another shot. And I think if you're a competitor, if you're ultimately, if you're a golfer, if you're a true golfer, you just want to see somebody grind their way. You want to just grind it out.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. I'm so freaking pumped that you're gonna give it a go, dude. I think everybody wants to see you give it a go.
I appreciate it. You know, I had a lot of good comments, a lot of positive feedback on Facebook. You know, I got some great people behind me and the support and everything that I've been given. And, you know, it's going to be fun. Like I said, and if it doesn't happen, you know, I'm not done. You know, you still got the Monday qualifiers. You know, I did that for a couple of years playing on, you know, before I got my PGA Tour card. And, you know, lucky enough, I'm very healthy. I still hit the ball far, you know, and still have a lot of power in my golf swing. You know, that's one thing that's very, very unfortunate. And that's what I was taught. John Garcia taught me that from day one. He goes, we're going to teach you swing as hard as you can and hit it as far as you can. And then we'll work on balance later, you know, and that's the way I was taught to play golf. And, you know, I can still get it to 123 miles an hour, Andy, you know, my driver speed, you know, so I still got some bang out there for 50.
Dang, dude, what low T levels? What low T levels, man? Yeah. right here, brother, right here. Okay, I got Carlo Griever. Play well, my friend. You can do it again.
Well, I'll see you out there too, Carlo. You're going to Vegas. I'm going to Mississippi, but hopefully we have finals together, buddy.
Right here, Henry Sanchez. Best of luck, brother-in-law.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? You're a crybaby like me, man. I was raised by 4 women, bro.
Dude, we're Mexican, dude. We wear our feelings on our shoulders, bro.
Yeah, but it's normally at 2 a.m. after you got into a fight with your Theo, right? And you're making up.
Hey, let me tell you. No, bro. The problem is we're Mexican. This is we're very family oriented. You know, we wear our feelings on our shoulders, and this is us. You know, one thing, you know, everybody compares, you know. Everybody loves Raymond. You know, my family's a lot like that. You know, we tell each other everything. Like, why did you tell her that? Well, we know this is what we are. You know. But yeah, I mean, that's just the way we grew up. But yeah, I'm very family oriented. I'm very emotional. You know, maybe I need more testosterone. Or so.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that's why my show ultimately was called NothingisOB, because amongst my friends, I just have no filter, and I'm like, I just want to know. Like, I don't like being there with the comadres there and all the chismando and stuff like that. I don't like that. I'm like, look, if I have a question, I'm just gonna go and ask him.
I'm just gonna say it because I said the same thing. I was like, everybody's like, is this live? When was it taped? I said, no, it's live. And you know what? I'll shock the shit out of myself too. What's gonna come out of my mouth, dude?
Right here, I got Omar Baron. Yep. I'm not crying. You're crying, Pods. You got this, and can't wait to be back on tour with you, brother.
Yeah, he wants to caddy for me. He's caddied for me doing the U.S. Open qualifier. When I made it to the U.S. Open, he caddied for me out there, and quite a few events. I remember a funny story with Omar is we were in Lake Charles, and it was the first cut I ever missed, and we went to gamble in the casino, and we came out, and it was daylight. It was sun up. I'm like, dude, I tee off in like 3 hours. We gotta go. Yeah, it was horrible, but we won a lot of money in the casino. But yeah, he's been a best friend of mine since high school, and he's ready to get on the bag, and we had great times together. He's like a brother to me. Yeah.
All right, last question.
Okay.
Who are you playing your final round of golf on this earth with?
Oh, wow. That's a heck of a question. Are we talking about still alive?
No, anybody.
Wow. You know what? I'd love to play with Tiger again. We were never played here together. Gigi is always great to play with. And we're talking about a foursome, and then one more. You know what? Donald Trump.
that'd be a hell of a foursome.
Oh yeah,
a hell of a foursome.
Exactly. No, I was fortunate to meet Donald Trump when I got honored for first team All-American in 1995 at Wingfoot, and I was able to shake his hand and talk to him, and that was one of the best honors of my life there, meeting him.
I thought you were gonna say you met him because you came out in Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
Kevin McAllister. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
No, yeah, That is that's a tough question. It really is. Who was yours?
Oh, dude. Okay, you know what? I always want people to ask me questions. I ask all the questions.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I started this podcast because of my dad. I didn't have the best relationship growing up with him. I was just raised for the most part by my mother and my aunts and my grandmother. And so I'd say these last 10 years, or I'd say it's about 11, 12 years. The game of golf has really brought us together, man. I had a lot of hate in my heart. I did. And the game of golf saved my dad's life. He was in Vietnam from 67 to 69, the Marines. And I think without him knowing it, he played golf like at least once or twice every week. It saved his life without him knowing it. Without him knowing it, I truly think that was his therapy. And so like every time I'm on this podcast, I feel like my pops is right here with me. And my dad's, thank God, I'm so thankful that every day, whenever we talk about golf, we say, hey, dude, where are you going? Hey, man. Hey, bro. Sabbath Kid, dude, where are you going, man? Hey, what course you playing this week? You know, and this podcast has been an extension of a foursome. That's really what it is. It's like a foursome, a twosome. You know, you've been riding in this car with me for this past hour and 35 minutes. And
yeah, it's flown by.
And you know what? I wanted to be with my dad, and I also wanted to be with my girls, my two daughters, because I grew up an only child, and like my kids, and just like I know how you are with your boys, like you just love to love them, you know, you just love to have them around and be the dad that goes on the roller coasters, goes on the water slides, throws the football in the backyard, you know, does all that shit, you know, and I have to have my dad, and I have to have my girls with me, you know, and just like, and again, I wouldn't be worried about the score, and I just worry about just soaking the round, you know, and just at the end of the round, every time I play with my dad, I feel like I got some of that time back that I lost. And I'm just like, I'm so thankful, you know, and just like I'm thankful with you sharing your stories with us and being real, because I feel like I know you better. I feel like we're bros.
No, for sure.
And I feel like, you know what, somebody else is getting that on the other side too.
Well, yeah, I'm not the asshole everybody perceives me to be.
Well, hold on. Nobody said that. And now, brother, and I'm telling you, it's my dad and my girls, and thank you. I want to thank you so much, Anthony, for being on, and A-Rod, and for, man, dude, you know, for rocking, for representing Texas, representing the Valley, representing San Antonio, representing A&M, and man, just representing this great game of golf that we have here in SA, man. And dude, you're a freaking beauty, dude. Your story is amazing, dude, and freaking love it, brother. Love it. Thank you so much for being on the show, brother.
Andy, no, you've done a great job. You know, I've watched many episodes when you had O-Man on there, and I chimed in there, and then, you know, just, you're doing a great job. You're doing something that you love, and stick with it, man, because it all comes from right here.
It does, man. And I appreciate you saying that. Last thing before you go, I need you to give me something good on Ben. I need a good Ben story. I need just some dirt on him, because he's the unicorn. He's ultimately the one he's the unicorn. He's the mythical creature that I need on this show. I need just something, just favorite moment walking into his shop or something.
When he was about 6 years old, so his sisters we all went to high school together, and I used to go over. There was a group of us, we'd all go to his house. He was such a little shit. He would so freaking annoying, and would not leave us all alone. I mean, he was that fly, that mosquito that just kept chinga, like, just get out of here. So you know, Ben, you know, and he's turned into a great big young man. He's tall, you know, but yeah, he was an annoying little shit when he was 6 years old. So I've known Ben a long time, and his family a long time, and they're great people. They really are. Mary's was a great for San Antonio golf, and Mr. Character as well. And with their family, a tournament I don't know if they still do it or not, but it was always in December, and it was freezing cold.
It is, man. It's one of my favorites, dude. I play with.
They still have it?
Yes, the Character Cup. Yeah,
Character Cup. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yes, dude.
Yeah. So, but yeah, maybe we can play it this year.
No. Y'all got too many studs. You got too many studs. Y'all need to stay away from it, man. Us Torres is we struggle on that.
Yeah,
on that
so
day.
every time I call him, I need something done or I need something, ask about golf, and he answers the phone, glossy posse, and that's what
That's what he said. He was the first one to chime in. Glossy posse. That's right there. Glossy posse. That's
yeah.
That's been.
I love you, Ben. You've done great, and I love your new facility where you're at, and thanks for your help too, man. Everything's great. So,
all right, A-Rod. Thank you so much, man. Have a good night. If you would mind just staying on just for a little bit as I close off, I so appreciate you. Everybody's freaking rooting for you, dude. Everyone's rooting for you, brother.
Thank you.
I want to thank A-Rod, Anthony Rodriguez, for being on the show. He was freaking badass, man. All right, make sure, guys, you tune in to the podcast. Tune in for nothingobgolf.com so we can keep up and keep track of A-Rod, all right, of his progress. And I know we're rooting hardcore for him. Thank you so much for all your support. Please make sure you check out my sponsor. Make sure you check out FOREBROS Golf Tour. Never golf alone again. And also, I wanted to say a special thank you to my tailgating crew, Rowdy Amigos. Make sure you hit us up. Every UTSA home game, we're sponsored by Modelo. We're sponsored by Twang. Hit us up, Rowdy Amigos. All right? Okay? We go hard. Remember, in the game of life, nothing is OB.